In New York City, an important election recently took place. Citizens voted in the primary election to choose a candidate for mayor for one of the major political parties. The result was a very big surprise for many people watching the race. A person named Zohran Mamdani won this election. This victory was unexpected because he won against a well-known and experienced political figure. Before this election, Mr. Mamdani was not famous outside of his local area. So, his win was seen as a truly surprising event in city and national politics. This surprising victory had a significant effect on New York City immediately. It created a new feeling in the political world there. Many people felt that this result showed a clear desire for a new direction for the city's future. The news about this unexpected win spread very quickly. It went from New York City to reach people in many other cities and states across the United States. This election result became a major topic of discussion everywhere. Important political figures, news reporters, and everyday citizens nationwide talked about what had happened and what it might mean. The first reactions to this news were quite strong and very different depending on the person. People who supported the new politician and his ideas were very happy and excited. They celebrated the victory and felt it proved that people wanted big, positive changes for the city. They saw hope for better lives in New York. However, many other people felt concerned, worried, or even shocked. They did not agree with his political plans, or they doubted if he had enough experience to lead a large city like New York. This surprising election result created a lot of strong opinions and started many important conversations across the country right away. It clearly showed that voters have the power to create unexpected and significant change. 2. A new leader. Zohran Mamdani was born in the year 1991. His birthplace was the country of Uganda. When he was a child, his family moved to New York City. He grew up in the city and went to school there. For high school, he studied at the Bronx High School of Science, a well-known school. Later, he attended Bowdoin College. At college, he studied Africana Studies. This field of study looks at the history and culture of Africa and people of African descent. Before Mr. Mamdani became a politician, he had different jobs. One job was helping people. He worked as a foreclosure prevention counselor. This means he helped people who might lose their homes because they could not pay. He also had an interest in music and worked in that area too. His first step into elected office was in the year 2020. He ran for a seat in the New York State Assembly. This is part of the state government. He ran against a person who had held the seat for a long time, 4 terms. Many people were surprised when Mr. Mamdani won. This victory showed he was a new force in state politics. In the state assembly, he worked on several important issues. He spoke strongly for changes in housing laws. He also pushed for improvements to public transportation, like trains and buses. Clean energy was another area he cared about and worked on. Mr. Mamdani comes from an interesting family. His mother is a famous filmmaker named Mira Nair. His father is a professor at Columbia University. His name is Mahmoud Mamdani. His family background, combined with his work helping people and his first political win, helped him become known. People saw him as a fresh face in the city's politics, someone with new ideas and energy. This background shaped who he was as he prepared for bigger steps in the political world. 3. Big ideas for the city. The politician decided it was time to run for mayor of New York City. He wanted to bring big changes to help the people who lived there. During his campaign, he shared many strong ideas for the city's future. He promised free public transport for everyone. This meant people would not pay to ride the subway or buses. He thought this would make life easier and cheaper for daily travel. He also wanted to help lower the cost of food. His plan was to open grocery stores owned by the city that would sell food at lower prices than private stores. Housing was a major concern, and he had several ideas to fix it. He promised to freeze rents for many people living in apartments with rent stabilization rules. He also planned to build a lot more affordable homes for people who need them. His goal was very ambitious. He wanted the city to spend 3 times more money than before on building these affordable houses. He also proposed creating a new city department focused on community safety. This department would work on programs to help people and prevent violence in different neighborhoods. He also had plans for families, like helping with childcare and providing free school for very young children. People wondered how the city could pay for all these big promises. The politician explained his plan was to raise taxes. He wanted big companies to pay a higher tax rate, around 11.5%. He also proposed an extra tax of 2% on people who earned more than $1 million each year. He said these new taxes could bring about $10 billion every year for the city to use for his plans. However, making these big ideas real was not simple. Many of his most important plans needed permission from the state government, located in Albany. The state has rules about city taxes and how much money the city can spend or borrow. The state governor, Kathy Hochul, did not agree with raising taxes on high-income people. This made it very hard to get the money needed for about half of his ideas. Critics did not support his plans and warned they would cost too much money. They said he had probably underestimated the real cost of his goals by tens of billions of dollars. They doubted that the city could pay for everything he promised. Despite these challenges and doubts, the politician connected well with the city's voters. He spoke at many events, focusing on the daily problems people faced, such as high rent and expensive food. He used simple language and explained how his plans for free transport, cheaper food, and better housing would directly help them. Sometimes supporters at his speeches would shout, "Housing is a human right." This focus on everyday issues and bold solutions helped him build strong support, especially among younger voters and working families hoping for change. He believed that only big, new ideas could truly solve the city's deep problems. 4. Party people talk. The election result caused many different feelings among Democrats. Some people were very happy. These were often progressive Democrats who wanted big changes. The head of one group, the Working Families Party, said the win was amazing. He said it showed what happens when leaders are brave and follow their beliefs. Another leader from a different progressive group agreed. She said the win meant the Democratic Party could go in a new way. She felt the old leaders were wrong about how to win. Young voters and people who cared about housing problems were excited. They thought this new leader was truly different from the Democrats who led the city for many years. But not all Democrats felt this way. Some Democrats who are more in the middle were careful. Those more in the middle were not sure about the new plans. A few of them were surprised. They thought the politician might have made too many promises to win in the election. Some Democrats who are more liberal were cautious too. They thought the new leader might be changing his policies too quickly. They were worried that his plans could be harmful to the city. One woman working in the Green Party said the new leader was too young and that the chance to do good things was too high. These feelings pushed Democrats to be careful and cautious, but later they agreed on working with the new leader. They recognized they needed to stay together and fight for the enemy. One person from a group called Third Way said that winning in New York City might not help the party win in other parts of the country. He said it was not safe to think that winning in a big city like New York showed the way for places that are not strongly Democratic. Even Democrats from New York had different ideas. Two important national leaders from New York, the head of the Senate and the head of the House Democrats, did not say who they wanted to win before the election. After the win, they said good things to the new leader and planned to talk with him. But some other New York Democrats were not happy. A new member of Congress from New York said the new leader was too much for New York City. She said his promises were too difficult to do. She also said his plans for more taxes were bad. She mentioned his past ideas about changing the police budget. She also said he made bad comments about some groups of people. The new leader said these comments were not true and that he was against hate. Other leaders felt mixed. One woman in Congress went to the party after the win and said the campaign surprised everyone. Another man in Congress who supported the other candidate said he was worried about the new leader. He did not think he had enough experience. He said he voted for the other person in the first election. After the election, Democrats everywhere started talking about what they could learn. They said the result showed the party needed to think about how to move forward after not doing well in 2024. They needed to understand what kind of leaders people who voted for the new candidate wanted. The win started a big talk inside the party about the future. 5. The other party is worried. The election results also surprised the other main political party. This party, the Republicans, reacted quickly. National groups within this party gave warnings. One group for national elections said that politicians from the winning party in other places would be hurt by this result. They said these politicians would have to agree with the new leader's ideas. A known Republican leader from New York also spoke. She said the winning party's leaders in the state were hurting New York. She mentioned ideas like helping people who do not have papers to stay in the city and reducing money for the police. She thought these ideas were very bad for the state. The president of the country also gave his opinion. He wrote online that the winning party had gone too far with their choice. He said very critical things about the winner. He called the winner a communist lunatic in strong words. He even made a joke about the winner being part of a future election for the country, saying it would cause big problems. Media that supports the Republican Party also talked about the election win. They showed the president's comments. They said the winner's success was a scary sign for America. They presented the victory as the start of the country moving too far to the left in politics. All these reactions showed that the other party was very worried about what the election result meant for their own political future. 6. Money for votes. Running a campaign needs money to tell people about your ideas. The candidate who lost the election had much more money. This money came mainly from rich people and big companies. These groups often did not like the winning candidate's plans, like his idea to stop rents from going up. They gave a lot of money to stop him. For example, groups from the real estate business gave millions of dollars. They wanted the other candidate to win. A very rich man, Michael Bloomberg, gave a very large amount, $8.3 million. With all this money, the losing candidate could pay for many things. He bought lots of advertisements on TV and online. There were many negative ads. These ads said bad things about the candidate who won. They told people his ideas were too extreme and would cost too much money. These ads tried to make voters afraid of the winning candidate. But the campaign that won used a different plan. They did not get large donations from wealthy people or big companies. Instead, many regular people gave small amounts of money. They gave maybe $10, $50, or $100. Many of these small donations together became important money for the campaign. More importantly, many people helped for free. These volunteers worked hard. They went to neighborhoods, knocking on doors, and talking to people. They listened to people's problems and explained how their candidate would help. This work by many regular people is called grassroots organizing. Some groups that wanted change also gave money to help the campaign, like $300,000 from one group. So, this election was a kind of battle. On one side was a lot of money from rich people and big businesses who wanted things to stay the same. On the other side were many regular people giving small amounts and their time, wanting change. People called this Wall Street versus Main Street. The rich financial world against the regular people. In the end, the campaign powered by many regular people won. This showed that the energy and work of many volunteers and small donors could defeat the money of a few rich people. It was a big win for this kind of people-powered campaign. 7. A hard job starts. The time for promises was finished. Now the real work had to start. The new leader won the election, but being mayor of a big city is a very hard job. Turning big ideas into real changes for thousands of people is not easy. There are many daily problems in the city, like fixing roads, running the trains, and keeping schools open. All these things cost a lot of money. People who supported the new mayor had high hopes. They wanted to see big changes happen quickly. They believed his plans for the city would make life better for everyone. They wanted the city to be fairer and help poor families more. But many other people had worries. Critics said the mayor's ideas cost too much money. They asked where all the money would come from. They worried that high taxes would make businesses leave the city. They thought the big plans were not practical. Some people looked at other cities. They saw leaders in places like Chicago who also had big plans. But these leaders found it very hard to make everything happen. They had problems with money and getting people to agree. People said the new mayor in New York might face the same difficulties. The mayor also needed help from the state government. The state government is in a city called Albany. Many rules for New York City come from Albany. To do things like change taxes or spend a lot more money on housing, the mayor needed the state government to say yes. But the state government had different ideas about money. They did not want to raise taxes on rich people or big companies. This made it hard for the mayor to find the money for his plans. There were many ongoing talks and arguments about the new plans. Could free transport really work? Would city stores make food cheaper? Could they build housing so fast? People debated if the plans were good for the city's future or if they would cause problems. This job was different from campaigning. It needed working with many different groups and finding compromises. It was a big test for the new leader to see if he could turn his promises into reality for the people of New York City. 8. The future story. Now, people looked to the future, to the general election in November. New York City usually votes for Democrats. This meant the politician who won the primary was expected to win easily. But the election was a little complex. The current mayor, Eric Adams, decided to run again, but not as a Democrat. He would run on his own. The Republican Party chose their candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and the politician who lost the primary, Andrew Cuomo, also thought about running again, not as a Democrat. With these other people running, the votes against the primary winner could be split among them. This made his chance of winning the general election very high. If he won, he would be the first Muslim mayor of New York City. This would be a big, historic moment. The new mayor would start his job in the year 2026. This would be during the second term of the country's president. Many people thought the city government and the federal government would not work well together. The politician had big plans that were different from the president's ideas. For example, he wanted to make New York a strong sanctuary city. This means the city would help people who came from other countries without papers, even if the federal government wanted to deport them. He said his plans would help protect the city from the president's policies. This difference could cause problems between the mayor and the president. The politician's victory was not just important for New York City. It also had a big effect on politics across the whole country. For some people, it showed that a different kind of politics was possible. For others, it caused worry about the future. This time will be a big test for the new mayor and for how a large city can be run. It will show if his big ideas can work in the real world. What do you think will happen next for the new mayor and the city?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.